Last month, Liverpool's Pier Head was transformed into a world stage for Lennon's work. Meanwhile, our cameras witnessed the transformation of a working-class hero into a multi-million-dollar television spectacular.
Nobody loves you when you're down and out. Nobody sees you when you're on cloud nine. Everybody's hustling for a buck and a dime. I'll scratch your back and you scratch mine. I've been across to the other side.
The excitement is building, so is the stage. It's all in readiness for the John Lennon tribute concert this coming weekend at the Pier Head here in Liverpool. If you've bought your tickets already, you're going to see acts like the Christians, Natalie Cole, the Moody Blues, Hall & Oates, Deacon Blues, Cyndi Lauper, Terence Trent D'Arby, Wet Wet Wet, and many more. It's going to be a night of nights, a night of stars, but the one star who can't be there, the John Lennon tribute concert this coming weekend.
Counting every single minute.
So we're welcoming you all here. You're going to be working with the John Lennon tribute. According to the list here, we've assigned you to the hotel, and you'll help get the artist into the vehicle to bring them over to our primary hotel, being the Atlantic Tower, where we'll then take them to the stage. This is Tisha Fine. She's booked a large part of the artist, and she'll give you an idea what the separate sort of personalities of the artists are, so you can deal with them in a very diplomatic way.
Okay. Basically, in general, we have a really friendly, I don't think particularly, not too many prima donnas in this group. We've tried to weed them out before we call them. Everybody's real excited to be here. They're all doing John Lennon song. They're all coming a long way for this resort experience in Liverpool. And
That's your BBC in Liverpool, 25 to 8. Welcome to the weekend. If you're just rising to the occasion, good morning to you from me, Jerry Phillips. It's the dawn, of course, of the Lennon Memorial Concert later on down at the Pier Head.
It's not a Liverpool festival at all. It's got nothing to do with Liverpool or current Liverpool music. I think everybody was very disappointed because when it was originally announced, they thought there was going to be more Liverpool input, but people just won't invest in current Liverpool music. The only sponsors they could find for the Liverpool Now event were Merseyside Arts and Liverpool City Council. Liverpool City Council put £750 into it. They put nearly £500,000 into the Lennon concert, and I think that's a disgrace.
Lou Reed, Kylie Minogue, well, I might just give her a miss, but Natalie Cole and...
All those groups, none of them really associated with John. And I think really it should have been more Liverpool bands who knew John, who grew up with John. And I think it would have been a far better production, you know. Also, I think you needed a real good... John would have loved a real good headlining American rock star, and that's what should have been there.
There's only one Liverpool band on it, Christians, but they say it's not meant to be representative of Liverpool, it's meant to be representative of John's music. So I don't think we can say until we've seen the concert whether it will be or not.
Some of the fans have been saying that, you know, they feel that you've deserted them. What do you feel about that?
They're mainly the ones that never came to... The people that are moaning about us not being here are people that never even came to see us when we were here. You know, we could count on our fingers the original fans we had here, the ones that really followed us. And most of them gave up being teenagers anyway. They're all sort of settled in different things. The ones that are moaning never probably came to see us.
While Lennon was alive, nobody in Liverpool had a good word to say for him. The opinion was, what has he done for Liverpool? Now that he's dead, they're all trying to cash in on his name. They're commercialising his name and they're sentimentalising his name as well, which I think is even worse. And this concert's just brought out the worst of it. You can't move for cover versions of Imagine and 60s concerts. And I think that nostalgia's really damaging to Liverpool. I think we should be investigating.
2, 2. Here we go. 2, 2, 2, 2.
Starting about last October, we started to contact artists about this wonderful idea whose time has been long past coming. It's been something I wanted to do ever since John Lennon passed on almost 10 years ago. And it just finally came around. All the ingredients came together. Yoko was willing to give us a shot at it, and we're very delighted and hope she'll be pleased with results when she sees it. She is coming today and hasn't seen any of this, the stage, or she's being very, very gracious. She's going to personally greet all the artists. In fact, she sent them a note saying if they need anything to call her directly, which is very gracious. I told them all to do so at 7 in the morning.
Why did you think it was important to hold it in Liverpool?
Well, I think it's logical, don't you? I mean, it started in Liverpool. It's John's birthplace, and it's a very nice time to focus energy and attention to Liverpool. For me, it's like an atonement. It's like bringing back John to Liverpool.
I understood more, you know, the kind of places that he grew up with as a child, you know, as my father.
Mersey Cats are the original Mersey beat groups of the 60s, some of whom are still playing regularly, are Mersey Cats who set out originally to help handicapped and sick children, have decided that this year Alder Hey is where all our money's going. They're trying to raise £2 million for the facilities in the hospital, which are not basically covered by the National Health Service.
I was the first person who had John Lennon by the throat and was about to kill him. It was Paul McCartney's 21st party, and he'd been a bit obnoxious, and he'd been throwing his weight around and punching people, and he was just drunk. It was just booze, you know. And he decided to take throw his weight around with a young woman who was a friend of ours, you know. And I made his face go a little bit purple, like trying to strangle him. A little voice behind me, I felt like Alistair Taylor, used to handle this for Nems Enterprises. This little voice went, "Billy, if you hit him, the foremost are finished." And all these pound signs appeared in my eyes. So I let him off. He was all right, though, you know. He was just okay.
He wanted to drink.
No, he was nasty in drink, but aren't we all? Hey?
On tour with them, we did the '64 tour, which is the last UK tour, and they travelled in a car. So we only saw them at the theatres. They were rushed in, you know the thing. They sneaked in the back door or whatever to get them in and out of the theatres. But once they were in there, I mean, it was just like being at the Cavern. It was just one big happy family. All the rest of the tour were all the Mersey bands. One particular one, we were at the City Hall in Sheffield, and they wheeled the Lord Mayor in, and he brought probably, I can't remember now, but I'm sure he would have had his daughters and his granddaughters and everyone else with him to meet the Beatles, you see. And we're all standing in a line, and they're saying hello, and Paul goes, you know, "Good evening, your worship, pleased to meet you," and George and Ringo, and he comes to John and says, "Good evening," and John says, "Suck a big hairy," and shook his hand, and the Lord Mayor said, "Nice to meet you," and carried on to the next one.
John had that lovely edge to his songwriting and singing. He had the hard side, the good rocking side, but he also, well, with songs like Imagine, he had that softer thing to his side to his character. But there was a little cry in his soul that used to come out, and no, he's terrific. I mean, one of the best ever.
I was a bit upset that, I mean, we put a portfolio forward, a professionally done portfolio, offering a group, Merseycats, John's real friends, who he actually played in the cavern with, laughed with, joked with. We offered to put them on the show. And what really upset me personally is we didn't even have a reply. And we know that they got the portfolio, but they didn't even reply and say, no, forget it.
Yeah, two, yeah.
How can I go forward when I don't know which way I'm facing? How can I go forward when I don't know which way to turn? How can I go forward into something I'm not sure of? Oh no. Oh no.
That's going to be too quiet.
Okay.
Baby's good to me, you know she buys me. How does it go? She says so, and I'm in love with her, and I feel that. Baby says she's mine, you know. She tells me all the time, you know. She says so. She says so. I'm in love with her, and I feel that. I'm so glad that she's my little girl, and she's so glad, that she's telling all the world that her baby buys her things, you know. She buys her diamond rings, you know. She says so. She says so. And she's in love with me. And I feel that. I'll be right.
We were actually just born when the Beatles were just beginning, you know, so we missed out on a huge part of growing up through the Beatles' music. So what we've discovered, Beatles-wise, has really come, it's like historic rather than present, you know. We weren't there in the 60s, we don't know what the vibe was.
People telling you about the phenomenon and such like.
And so the only thing we can do is listen back, and I think we've got a different perspective of how to do the songs or how to listen to the songs, an 80s perspective, if you like. And I guess one of the reasons we're involved in it is because we are a young band. We are one step away from, and so our interpretation of the tune should be, I think, a little breath of fresh air, hopefully.
And she's in love with smoke.
Right, guest passes are administered by the individual management companies. I was handling out artist only. So
Things should have been set up beforehand so we know when people were arriving, what we were going to do, what we were going to get, and nothing has happened.
Welcome to the great city of Liverpool. This is boring.
You want to be here and then out of here.
right, I have no after-show passes at all. These are the ones.
Can they just come afterwards and show you the tickets or whatever?
I am not going to be handling that. I'm sorry.
All right, thanks for
An unpretentious early Beatles song rather than some of the late kind of drifty kind of stuff. That's the stuff that I really like.
Are you kind of disappointed that the Beatles themselves, or the remaining Beatles, are not here?
I don't want to have this continued discussion.
Yeah, Richard, do you know?
I think it was a telegram or something. Came to the office and said, would you like to do the John Lennon Memorial Concert? And we thought at the time it would be really good to do that kind of thing. Because, you know, the Beatles and John Lennon and everything. But as time went on, you know, a lot of different kind of influences came into the proceedings, like the Americans and TV and
the way the people of Liverpool feel about it, what Liverpool's going to get out of it, the price of the tickets, where's the money going? I mean, a lot of questions. So our initial gut reaction was, yeah, we'll do it. And now we're in a position that if we pulled out anyway, which we're not going to, but if we did, there's probably people who bought tickets to
kick our heads up. Yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions. You know, I don't really know what's going on.
How much did the council invest in the concert?
To clear the pier head, to make it a very good site for the future, something of about £400,000 altogether.
The profits from the concert are going to something which is going to be called the John Lennon Scholarship. What's that money going to be used for?
Well, I think the initial money that's allocated to Britain will first go to Liverpool University, and it's up to them to sort of organize about it. And I think in that way, I want to show a kind of focusing to Liverpool, which was John's birthplace.
Can you explain the Spirit Foundation to me, what it's all about, where the money goes?
The foundation was set up in 1978. It's for needy and deserving children, and it's for education, and it also includes environmental issues as well, a whole list of them, which I'm not really qualified to talk on.
I trust them. I think we've got yet to understand more details about where the money's being applied, and we need to make sure that the promises we've got are kept, and that the large part of that money comes to benefit the environment and education for the people of this city especially.
I think they're just using Liverpool as a base, you know, because it's a cool thing to do or something like that, you know. And we're the only Liverpool band on it, and it's a shame.
Maybe it's just that we came into it thinking it was something different. Maybe it is just a sort of showbiz extravaganza for the American market and the European market, so they're showing lots of well-known bands, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of bullshit going around, and I don't really know what's. I feel really a bit weird about the whole thing, you know.
Taught me about harmony. His music taught me about lyrics. His music opened my mind to people like Chuck Berry. I never heard of Chuck Berry.
I was just so young at the time. I mean, I remember singing into hairbrushes and anything that resembled a microphone to all the Beatles, and my dad's Beatles albums. So I think most of the other people here would have had their own albums, but mine was my dad's.
It's easy. I heard John Lennon's music and I was playing my own. And it was everywhere, all over everything. Every
American radio station, was a Beatle fanatic, and it was phenomenal.
He seemed to always write from his gut and from his heart and soul, and everything he did was, it always seemed very meaningful to him. He just didn't write, pop songs to, just to kind of churn them out. And especially later on in his career, all the songs really, he really delved.
He can take something personal and make it bigger than
Universal.
himself. Make it universal, which is really a rare ability. I mean, if you can pull that off, it's really a special thing.
Okay, take it easy. There's plenty of room. Don't rush. Don't run. There's plenty of room. Make yourself comfortable. You're here for a while. Make yourself comfortable. Don't rush. All right. You got the sunshine. What more do you want?
I think he would be regarded as the best rock singer, rock performer to come out of the whole Liverpool scene, and you're talking of several hundred. I don't think there's any of the UK big stars, even up to the likes of David Bowie and all the rest of them, who wouldn't regard John as a world-class rock and roll singer, in completely on a level with the likes of Elvis and Little Richard and Jerry Lee Lewis. I mean, he is the only one for me who is truly in that class.
He influenced a whole generation in the 60s. It swept across from Liverpool, right from Liverpool into Manchester, over into Yorkshire, Belgium, France, Germany, and right the way over. Now it's come all the way around the globe. And here we are, paying this fantastic tribute to this man. Yeah?
Yeah. So.
And what a disgrace that he's not with us. What a shame he's not with us. How could the world do that? Well, the world's done that. As far as I'm concerned, it killed the witness. That's what John Lennon was, a witness.
And the world, she is tough. Sometimes I feel I've had enough.
I'd like to live to ripe old age with Yoko only, And I'm not afraid of dying. I'm prepared for death because I don't believe in it. I think it's just getting out of one car and getting into another. I mean, Christ said the kingdom of heaven is within you. And that's what it means, And the Indians say that, and the Zen people say that. It's a basic thing of religion. We're all God. I'm not a God or the God, not the God. But we're all God, and we're all potentially divine and potentially evil.
There's room at the top, they're telling you still. But first you